love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I just got to open up the live on my phone to make sure that the audio is coming in loud and clear. All right. Why isn't this working? You guys hear me all right? Oh, yeah, we're good. Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to say last night I had, for the first time in a very, very long time, I was driving home, and I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but I was just like, dude, my body feels like it's shutting down. I could barely keep my eyes open, and I got about 12 hours of sleep last night. And so I apologize for that, but I feel refreshed. As you guys know, I try to go live every single day, and last night, my body, my mind, my brain, it was just not cooperating with me. And so I listened to my body, and I got a bunch of rest, so I should be good to go now for the rest of the weekend. I'm very excited for today's live stream on Saturday. It's going to be how Saturdays typically are, which is like a hybrid live dig. I'm going to be talking to the chat a lot. Typically, these Saturday streams are a little bit smaller, of a chat, which allows me to really, engage with you all more. But if this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Birdie. I typically go live every weeknight, Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on Friday evenings for live digs. And then I'll sprinkle in a live between 10 and noon on Saturdays. And then Sunday nights are 7 p.m. Central. So like I said, I try to go live every day. This is a contrarian thinking live stream. So if you're easily rattled or if you're offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like me. You're not going to like the people in the chat. But we like to question the narrative, think past the headlines. And if you're known as the tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist in your friend group, you have found your people. You are amongst friends. Welcome. The theme that I have today is we got all this new evidence. It would be weirder if the outcome did not change, Hive. It has been a roller coaster, meaning the Idaho 4 case situation with the 4 students that were murdered at the University of Idaho. Bryan Kohberger confessed in a plea deal to committing these 4 murders and got 4 consecutive life sentences after being threatened with a death penalty. We're going to be going into some things that I've recently found, a couple of Hive Mind finds, and then I want to say what's up to everybody, but I also, as I'm saying what's up, let me know in the Hive, and I'll put some up on the screen. Have you guys, is there anything new that's coming, to the front of your mind when you're looking at this evidence? Or do you feel like it's just kind of like, banging your head on a brick wall, expecting a different result? Like, how are people not seeing this? Because I think people are starting to see it. It could be my algorithm, my feed that shows me a lot of content, how I think, but I'm seeing people that typically were just, he's so guilty, stop defending a murder type people, start to wake up. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. What's going on, Miss Jess? Growth Renewal, Sleuther, Alyssa, Critic Rick, good to see you. D Small, Sassafrasy 7, Okie Dokie Lisa, Momo's thinking. Katina, Lisa Marie, Phoenix Talks, good to see you. What's good, Jamal Louie? Sleuther Dare, Crystal Amber, Boston, Polka Dots, Carrot Sue, James, Miss Jess, Pappy Man, good to see you. Worth a Million, tuning in for their second live. Welcome. Is this anybody's first live that they are catching right now? We will welcome you with open arms. What's up, Gabby Girl and Lisa, Latitude, Discord, Dawn, good to see you. Big Forehead, Big Dreams, an ex Roundtable member. Always great to see your username. Mitchell, Soul Warrior, XO, I'm Ghost, 530s in. Berdino and the Hizzy for Shizzy and the Rizzy feeling tizzy and getting kizzy and the Mizzy. What's up, UFO Dog? How are you doing? Crystal, Nene. Helen's ready to go down the rabbit hole. What's up, Galorna? Amanda B from West Virginia. Kim B in Spectacle. Laura. A Lyrics, Mom? Good to see you. Your first live. Nice. UFO Dog, like I said, it's her 69th live today. It's been her 69th live in the Hive for 69 days. What's up, B? Gen X, Jen, I am. Pammy B. Lil Devil, finally made a live, tuning in from Ontario, Canada. Go Ducks 24 says, this is my first live. Longtime fan, though. Well, thank you so much. Happy to have you here live. Tinfoil Hat Claire. Carrie's tuning in from Boise. It's the Cyber 1110 says, my husband finally believes what I've been telling him about this case. Well, top dog to your hubby. How are you doing? Christy, Marissa, Sleuther Dare. Man, it's great to see everybody. I missed you guys last night. I kind of feel like, even though it's only just, a day off, it feels weird to not stream. So I'm happy to be back. Tomboy Charm says, rabbit hole. I thought it was called an Idaho. Oh, that's my type of humor. That's hilarious. Second live. Good to be here. Also tuning in from Canada. Aaron Eves in Cali. What's up? What? No, Miss Birdie opened the door. Acted like she was going to say something. Tuning in from the UK, Newfoundland. Kelly's in Florida. Just saw Pennsylvania from Tabby. Sluther Dare says you guys are lonely in the Discord. Might be Northern Ireland. What's up, Moto Man? Good to see you. Nevada, Oregon, Oklahoma. K Goff says, my first ever live. Hello, Hive. Tuning in from Tennessee. Welcome, K Goff 69. Sure UFO Dog likes you already because of the 69. Sarah's in Texas. Arkansas. Lisa Marie says Michigan go blue. All right, Hive. So let's start summing up. Like, if you were somebody, and I've said this before, so I'm not trying to be repetitive. I just, with some newer faces in here, if you were somebody that maybe thought Bryan was guilty, or maybe you were on the fence, and then even before these new doc drops, and now after seeing the photos, is there anything that you feel like you personally are seeing and like yelling from the rooftops? And I myself have not seen it. Nobody in our Discord seen it. Is there anything that you guys want to look into that you feel like, I don't think the Hive's checked this out yet? And as you guys start typing that up there, let's take 5 seconds here, please. Everybody scroll down on the chat right now. I'm going to take a minute. I want you guys to tap that like button. Okay, there's 350 people in here. We should have 350 likes. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get some stuff pulled up as you do that. Friday mornings as well, I typically will go live in the morning for about an hour called The Sting. And what that is that's like current events, whether it be geopolitical, financial, corruption. It's all under that same 40,000-foot umbrella that I call narrative warfare, which is what is the reason a narrative is behind a, like, what narrative are they pushing about a story and a topic? Yeah, the 500 barks. Pappy Man says the only time I thought he was guilty was when they claimed they found one of the victim's IDs in his parents' house, which was media BS. Phoenix is saying that the guy in the car crash stabbing is white, not Native American per ISP doc. Christie's foil is tinned. Thank you so much. Can't always catch you live. Just want to show you some love. Well, I appreciate you. And that super chat. Anything over $4.99 will automatically pop up right here, and I address it right away. The super chats work. The super stickers do not pop up. So super chat, and then also my mods have a tip link, as I found out recently that if the government doesn't take all of your money via taxes, YouTube still finds a way to do so with the super chats, and they take, like, I don't know, some ungodly amount, 60% of it. So the tips, as I do keep all of my streams free, the tips, I keep 100% of those. So either one, though, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not here to do anything other than spread the word and give everybody a place where they can come and tune in and they can say whatever they want. You can disagree with anybody in here. Just don't spam, threaten, or troll. The mods will give you enough leash to hang yourself. Yep, there's the link right there. Thanks, Miss Luna. Appreciate you. Katina Renee says, everyone around me was convinced Bryan Kohberger was 100% guilty, but with the help of you and the Hive, most are starting to see what's really happening. Finally. How many people here have told one of their friends or their family members about the Hive, and have they started tuning in? And if they have, has it helped wake them up? Kephalem? Sorry if I said that wrong. Why does KG's sister look so effing different? Big forehead, big dreams. The amount of people in the peripheral of this case have been unalived has always perplexed me and drives me deeper down the Idaho. Yeah, like that reporter who asked if maybe the killer was a female and did it have anything to do with the ROTC program. She ended up dead. So, Christy, the tip link the mods just posted Let's see. What else is everybody else saying? Who's being investigated for the Brady list? I know that you could find some stuff on MPD with Brady violations, other violations, corruption, although nothing ever happens in Moscow. Tomboy Charm says, nope, NM is Native American. Interesting. Well, we'll have to look into that. Moto Man, thank you so much. Dylan was looking in Xana's bedroom when Bethany was texting, quote, Xana was in all black. At that point, Dylan knew who was in that room with Ethan. There are so many timeline oddities. Given this bigger picture now, we can really start to make sense of the 911 call, the text messages that are released. They still don't make any sense, but we're starting to see that it doesn't make sense because it's such a mystery. It seems like it deliberately was made and cooked up to not make sense. You know, that's what I think. Momo says I'm antisocial. You guys feel the same as me. Tiger Eye 508. My BF does not agree with me. She watched the movie. Uh-oh. Bethany calling her parents frantically. What's up, Marissa? Good to see you. A lot of people in all black that night. Well, if you guys do have something and you are a part of our Discord, you can obviously put it into the Discord. Or if Discord's not for you, I got a new email where my mods will be helping me go through them just because of the sheer volume that I was getting on my own one. So the birdieBombshell00@gmail.com. That is not going to be used for Hive Mind Finds anymore. Please send this to birdieshivemind@gmail.com. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me. If you have something that you think, damn, the Hive Mind needs to talk about this, or you just have questions about it, maybe you don't think people have seen it, you could send in a theory. birdieshivemind@gmail.com. And then if you do want to join the Discord, that link is in my YouTube bio. And Sleuther75, thank you so much for the super chat. You rock. Says, I'm rethinking every day. Or I'm rethinking everything every day. Love your channel and the Hive. Well, we love you, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you again for that super chat. Appreciate you. So, real quick, if you guys do want to join the Discord, you're just going to go view my channel. Make sure that you have Discord downloaded on your iPhone or whatever the app store is for Androids. You're going to press subscribe and then click more links, and it is the top link. Me and Shoe Girl and a handful of other members in the Hive, we have been also working really hard on updating our website for the Hive. It's awesome. You guys are going to really like it. We got some great gear. It's going to be the HiveMindStore.com. And we have a lot of artists in the Hive that have great designs for t-shirts that I think Dana has absolutely crushed it. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of work. And I'm very excited to start showing that here probably next week. But I gotta start putting some stuff together to help promote that, let people know where to go. And Christie's foil is tinned says, no YouTube charges. Thank you for all your hard work and deep dives. Jeez, you rock, Christy. Thank you so much. Yeah. Everybody gets a cut. Everybody gets a cut, including the government. And if the government doesn't take it right off the bat, YouTube will. Beth was scared a UFO got me last night. Nope. I was just, I haven't had a sleep that good where I was just like it's like a cartoon, like the me, 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 me. That's how hard I was sleeping last night. All right. Some upcoming events quick. We just had Outcast on Wednesday next week, November 19th. We got Dago on Thursday, November 20th. I'm super excited. I think this is a very overdue stream. I know Sue had been in and out. She was sick. So we finally got November 20th all lined up. Sue Revelation Tarot will be on the stream Thursday next week. Dago on Wednesday next week. And then at the end of the month, we have our mod roundtable on Tuesday as well. I also have a surprise guest that it's going to be different. It's going to shake things up. I think you guys are going to like it. Now, here are some things that I want to talk about. We're going to start with this video. This video comes from Finding Their Mess Ups by Senor Wazowski, Mike Wazowski. And it's not that long of a video. I had to take a screenshot because the thumbnail was extremely graphic and gory. So this is just a really interesting find. I think people have probably pointed this out before. If you haven't, it is a 2-minute video. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let this play. Type of 1 to make sure you guys can hear the volume when it plays.
Is the reasoning and the rationale for not identifying the male whose DNA.
Okay, so I want to show you guys something. First of all, watch this. They're clearing the house. Just watch. Okay, let's slow it down. Watch right here. Now we got 2 cops clearing the house. It's the first time they're realizing this. They just found Xana and Ethan. They're going upstairs. They're clearing the house. See nothing right here. Still nothing. Here, watch. Now,
Boom.
these are forensic stickers, I think, in my opinion, to show floor and direction where the bodies are.
Okay, so somebody's saying, Birdie, those aren't victim markers. Those are name tags from their career fair. Senor posted about it. Okay, so it's been debunked. Got it. All right. I did not see the debunking video, but I thought it was a good find. Either way, it's interesting. Things like that, I'll never if I don't know that it's been debunked, I'm still going to show it because I think it's thought-provoking. And then that is also another point of the hive. Like, okay, it's been debunked. This was from a career fair. It is what it is. And now we know. Okay, so I thought that was an interesting find. I'm just going to go ahead. There's a minute left. I'm just going to keep playing this.
How are they here while they're clearing this? This is the first time. And just to show you, they've not always been there. This is the TikTok where they were pretending to be each other. This is a wall. This is the wall. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. How did these get here? They're clearing the house. This shows you they were there before and everything was smoke and mirrors. Tell me what y'all think.
So, whoops. I mean, it's interesting, right? There's a lot of people that were saying, like, were those ballistic markers? Right? What were those? Why would they be there? If they're from a career fair, I had not heard that yet. I think a lot of people that just said, they're clearing a homicide scene, but there's no weapons drawn. I agree. James Moen, thank you for the super chat. Looking forward to Dago coming to join you for a night. Clap, 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 clap. Yeah, Dago's an OG covering this case. I tuned into him a lot back in my TikTok days. I'm very excited to chat with him. And that's one that's probably a little bit overdue. But yeah, shout out to Dago. Very excited for him to be popping on. And for the other people that sent in super chats, I saw James, you sent another one. Thank you all for the hard work behind the scenes. Respect and appreciation always. And Motoman, you get a toothache after coming down off Coke or meth or Adderall because you're grinding. Hence all the Advil on Bethany's desk. Well, you do get crazy, like, if you ever seen somebody doing that. So Would assume, yes, your teeth would hurt. But yeah, in general, guys, it does seem like one of the things about this whole house situation that I've heard people talk about, maybe this is just a lack of experience that I have with clearing houses. I'm not a police officer. I've never once claimed to be. I have zero tactical experience. Okay. But, you know, I do have a brain, and I do feel like when you get called to a homicide scene, there's a guy who said that he had a knife because he didn't know if somebody was in there. And then he picks that knife up and he's behind you as a cop, and there's dead bodies there that were just stabbed. There's no weapons drawn. How is everybody not considered a suspect? This scene, when they arrive, it reminds me of, if you've ever seen like a bank robber movie where they go in, like, let's say they're all in like the same bank robber outfit, and then they switch clothes and they walk out with, you know, all the hostages. Who's to say? How do the cops know that that's not what is happening? I'm not saying that these people just killed their friends, okay? But I am saying it didn't seem like they were treated at all as suspects. Minimal questioning, not separated, nobody detained. XO, I'm Ghost530, says emails, subject line, big time tinfoil hat. Check them out. Very interesting picture you should see. Did you send that to the Hive Mind one or to my old one? XO, I'm Ghost, and thank you so much for the super chat. I will definitely check that out. Yes, again, if you're just joining, please hit that like button. All right. Now, because I didn't stream last night, geez, sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Because I didn't stream last night, and Friday nights are typically a live dig, and Saturdays are more informal and casual like this, I threw some stuff here up on the screen. I'm going to read something from Cat's Mojo, and then we're going to get into some pictures that I've found that I have not shown on stream yet that I'm just curious about. And Cat's Mojo says, she sent this in Discord. This is from Miss Potts. And Miss Potts says, is this true? It looks like the families of the victims plan to sue Washington State University for $100 million in regards to Bryan Kohberger. I can't wait to read that filing if we ever get to. The Medium article Jenna cites in her post is only viewable in its entirety when you make an account. However, I took the liberty of creating an account so others don't have to do so. Well, thank you, Miss Potts. Here's the full article from Jenna's post. It's directly taken from the Medium website. The families of the 4 University of Idaho students who were murdered in November of 2022 have filed a Washington state tort claim, giving notice of their intentions to claim damages from the state of Washington for the sum of $100 million each. In July of 2025, Bryan Kohberger was sentenced to 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murders of Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xander Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was a doctoral criminology justice student and employee at nearby Washington State University. And thank you, James Moen, for the super chat saying, it's an honor to support you, Birdie. Brilliant young man. Applause, applause, applause. Well, thank you for the support, James. I appreciate it. The victims were housemates along with Kernodle's boyfriend living off campus. The brutal murders in the rural town garnered national media attention almost immediately. The age of the victims and the fact that 2 other housemates and a dog were home at the time of the murders and unharmed was shocking. Yes, it was. The Idaho State Police and the FBI assisted the Moscow Police Department. The perpetrator left a leather knife sheath at the crime scene. Law enforcement used genetic genealogy to match DNA from the sheath to Kohberger. The victims allege that WSU brought Bryan Kohberger to the Pullman Moscow community where it employed, housed, and paid Kohberger almost immediately. Kohberger began making students, faculty, and staff uncomfortable and engaged in behavior that was threatening and predatory and that amounted to sexual discrimination, sexual harassment, and stalking. Many WSU employees who are mandatory reporters were aware of Kohberger's predatory behavior. WSU received more than a dozen formal complaints about Kohberger's inappropriate behavior that was occurring both in and out of the classroom. Despite having significant control over Kohberger, WSU failed to appropriately act in response to his behavior and the clear and present threat that he posed. In the state of Washington, a third party such as Washington State University can be civilly liable for a death caused by one of their employees. At the time of the murders, Bryan Kohberger was a, quote, teaching assistant. Even if an act, in this case the murder, falls outside the scope of employment, the university can be held liable for their own negligence in hiring, supervising, or retaining the employee. A formal complaint has not yet been filed with the court, so the details of the allegations are not yet known. However, the shocking impact of the murders on the victims and the community is visible to everyone. The emotional impact on survivors who wrongfully lost a loved one is devastating. Calculating a monetary value on this type of pain is nearly impossible. Wrongful death lawsuits have been used to promote a positive change. They can lead to greater corporate and government accountability, better safety protocols, and new legislation. We all hope that this lawsuit will also lead to a positive change to the nation's universities and provide greater protection for the young men and women who place their trust in these institutions. ETA. According to the WSP, the Washington State Patrol website, a tort is a wrong that involves a breach of civil duty other than a contractual duty owed to somebody else, a personal injury, or as a civil action other than a breach of contract. A person who suffers a tortious injury is entitled to receive damages, usually monetary compensation, from the person or people responsible or liable for those injuries. News Nation has also reported on this topic as well. You can watch their video on the matter here. And it's Ashley Banfield. Couple of things that stick out to me. The legislation, kind of a little bit odd. I understand that this article is generalizing, but we know with genetic genealogy and how they caught them, right? Being Bryan Kohberger tied to this, if this is a giant lawsuit, that only gives strength to argue legislation to use IgG in the future as proof that this does help. This is real life cases. You can refer to them. The victims allege that WSU brought Bryan Kohberger to the Pullman Moscow community where it employed, housed, and paid Kohberger. Very interesting choice. It says the victims allege that WSU brought Bryan Kohberger to the Pullman Moscow community. And thank you, James Moen, moderators. Much love, respect, and appreciation for you always. Yes. Bows to the mods. They are the best in the game, hands down. Now, what do you guys think about that? Like, what does that mean that WSU brought Bryan Kohberger to Pullman Moscow? Like, where I went to college, does that mean that my college town brought me there if I applied and they let me in? You know, it just seems like weird wording because it says the victims allege. So this is clearly something that they're stating is about to be in the filing. Well, he's only out there because you guys brought him here. I'd be curious if there's an argument on WSU's part where they could be like, well, yeah, I mean, he was a top student. He was recommended. He's a PhD student. He was going to be able to offer help to other students being a teaching assistant. He was trying to apply for a Pullman Police Department. Like, is there an argument to defend themselves there? Yeah, I don't see how that's a legal responsibility either. Maybe that amount of money screams that it's only for a settlement, is what Avi says. He applied to Moscow PD first. It's just very odd wording. I agree, UFO Dog. Rebecca says recruit. Suthard Air says he could swing it the other way. The parents let their kids go to Moscow. Does anybody else think, and I'm not referring only to this case. Does anybody else think that like suing culture in America, maybe in the world, has just gotten out of control? Like you can get sued for anything and everything to the point where it's like, has that affected our society from authenticness, from genuineness? Does it entitle people or maybe incentivize people to behave a certain way to like bait others into it. I don't think you can apply it necessarily to like wrongful death stuff, but like I do think that, you know, there's people look for a reason to sue you about anything. Yeah, lawfare is off the chain. It's very litigious. How do you say that? Litigious? Litigious. If the Chapins are in agreement with the lawsuit, there's definitely more to it than the money. Why don't they want unknown male DNA tested if it was my kid? It seems like maybe a greedy reach. Yeah. Serial sewers, tipping culture is out of control too. Like, I'm all for tipping 20% plus when I go out, right? My dad taught me this trick back in the day. He's like, just take the first number, if it's 3 digits, take the first 2 numbers, double it, and like add $5. So I've done that my whole life. That gets you 20% plus. But like, I've been at a bar before where I've waited in line and the bouncer has taken my ID to make sure I'm 21 and then scanned it on this like iPad thing and then turned it around for a tip on top of a cover. I remember like being so confused. I'm like, hang on, what? Like, that's just, it's such an odd thing. Like, yeah. Money, 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 money in Mr. Krabs' voice. Money, money, money. I used to love SpongeBob when I was a kid. Deflection from ISU effing up the investigation. Tipping's not a thing in the UK. That's how we were taught too. Somebody said that ain't a tip. That's called stealing. You can't help but start to wonder with this case. Well, hang on. Diane Boyd, 7471, thank you so much. Xana's mom now wants $1 million, and she worries that it may be her fault as to what happened to her daughter. Make that make sense. Well, what Diane is referring to is there is a document, can't remember if it's MPD or ISP, that has Xana's mom saying this better not be because of, you know, a meeting that she had or where she flipped on somebody in her own life and her connections. Well, and big forehead, big dreams. I'm glad you just said this. I think it's very likely that Bryan Kohberger worked for Pullman Police Department doing something worth cloud-based or something with the cloud-based forensics. Found out that Pullman unalived Kopaka for whatever reason was going to blow the whistle. Well, I started reading the first half of that, and I think where my mind went when I read this comment is the victims alleged that WSU brought Bryan Kohberger to Pullman. It's like, is there some part of the story going back to like when Phoenix and I used to be on TikTok? Phoenix had brought up, there's this interview. I can't find the interview anywhere. If anybody has this video that I'm about to say, please, please, please put it in the Discord, send it to birdieshivemind@gmail.com. I would love to show it. I can't find it. And it's, I believe it's somebody at, was it Pullman PD? I can't even remember if it was Pullman PD, MPD. Somebody was asked, did Bryan Kohberger work for you all? And the dude responded, I have to talk with my attorney first. That's weird. Maybe it goes into the suing's out of control in this country, fear, but it's also like he either did or he didn't. Oh, it's an article, not a video. Thank you, Phoenix. Appreciate that. It's an article. Yeah, Chief Jenkins. Thank you. Giddy up 9241. I worry that if the families win a suit, then BK's plea overturned, that they will still get to keep the money. I don't know how that works. That's a good point. That's a good question. Let's ask good old Chat GPT. In a criminal case, where someone takes a plea deal and then the families sue the university that the crime occurred for wrongful deaths of a loved one. And then down the road, the plea deal or the person convicted gets exonerated, but the lawsuit was settled or completed. Do the families then have to give the money back, or how does that work? I'm curious what it's going to say. It says the law gets wonderfully weird here. It's like a snake trying to swallow its own tail. So a defendant takes a plea, the family sue a third party, whether it's a university, a hotel, an employer, for a wrongful death. The civil case settles or goes to verdict. Later, the defendant is exonerated. Here is the brain melter. Does the civil money have to be returned because the, quote, killer turned out not to be the killer? The short answer is almost always no. The families keep the settlement. The long answer is it's delightfully tangled, but most likely still no. Civil liability and criminal guilt are like parallel universes. One doesn't overwrite the rules of the other. And then that's what I was kind of thinking next. The plea deal was a foundation. Doesn't that poison the civil case? Not really. Civil cases operate on a different burden of proof. Most civil settlements are explicitly written to prevent unwinding, even if new facts emerge later. But can the university try to recover the money? In theory, yes. In reality, it's near mythical creature like Bigfoot riding a unicycle. A defendant in the civil case could attempt to claim the settlement was based on false assumptions. New evidence means we wouldn't have settled. Well, in this case, what if it's somebody that never even went to Washington State? Right? Like, I can't be the only person that thinks that that's got to be different grounds. If you're paying out $400 million because of a wrongful death when it happened off campus in Idaho, and it turns out that it wasn't your student or anybody that was employed at WSU who did that, how does that work? How would that work? Well, I guess I can ask it. But what if the person who did kill them never went or worked at that university? If the actual killer turns out to have zero connection to the university, whether that means they're not a student, not an employee, not a visitor, then the civil settlement with the university still stands. That sounds counterintuitive at first, but it's exactly how wrongful death liability works. If you think of it this way, civil liability isn't about who killed the victims. It's about whether the university could or should have prevented the deaths on their property. Well, it's not on their property. A random killer with no affiliation actually strengthens the negligence theory in many cases. Hold on. All right. Now I got to start asking it specific to this case. But in the Idaho 4 case, the victims' families are suing WSU. And yet this death occurred at an off-campus house in Idaho. What if it was not a student or anyone associated with WSU? All right, this is where the Idaho 4 case turns into a legal funhouse mirror. The rules of civil liability don't care about the criminal storyline the way that most people assume they do. They care about duty, foreseeability, and who had the power to prevent harm. If no one involved in the murders was associated with WSU and the murders happened off campus in Idaho, how can families still sue WSU? And if the wrong person was charged, does that blow up the lawsuit? Civil lawsuits target the deepest pockets with the closest duty, not the killer. The killer's identity has very little to do with WSU's potential liability. WSU could be sued even if the killer wasn't a WSU student, employee, had zero affiliation with WSU. The crime happens off campus. The person criminally accused later. It says because the families are not arguing WSU employed the murder. They're arguing something more abstract, that WSU created conditions that made the murders possible. Dude. Wow. Think about this. The families, the lawsuit doesn't matter if the families end up finding out the killer wasn't Bryan Kohberger, but they're arguing not that WSU employed the murder. They're arguing something more abstract, that WSU created conditions that made the murders possible. Could it be all of the NIJ and DOJ funding? Is that why Josh Hurwitz is there? Is that why there's national security? Is that why it's redacted? Is this funding and some sort of study for predictive criminal behavior that we've read so much about, that Bryan Kohberger's papers are written about, essentially? I don't know. Could it be what conditions made the murders possible if WSU is in a different state and it happened at an off-campus house for Idaho State, or in the University of Idaho? Geez, I can't talk. Interesting. Yeah, it comes down to what Discord Dawn said. Follow the money. Interesting. So what duty could WSU possibly have? The theory in general terms goes like this. WSU allegedly had information, warnings, or circumstances that created foreseeable risk. WSU failed in supervision, monitoring, safety practices, or response protocols that were connected to the individual. WSU ignored red flags. WSU may have had policies that made him improperly supervised. Even though the crime was off campus and over the border, the claim about institutional negligence is not physical location. If the killer had no association with WSU, their lawsuit would simply pivot to, did WSU contribute to risk through their criminology program? Did WSU fail to respond to warnings about safety threats in the region? Did WSU do anything that increased danger for students, neighbors, or the community? No, Detective Bowery, I don't know if you're popping in late. Wait until you read the suits. It will be for neglecting and failure to report behaviors and students that report it. I know we read I read the article that somebody posted in there. I'm saying this was a question somebody in the Hive had, that was, what if Bryan Kohberger does somehow become exonerated? That's what this is in response to, just to clarify. So different, yes. Honestly, I'm glad that I saw that comment, because I could see why that maybe is a little bit confusing. So, Bubbly, good to see you. Did you ever email me, Bubbly, for a date or no? Could it be that they sweep S offenses under the rug, especially when it's committed by the hands of terror in campus police? Maybe. I wonder if this could this be something going on in the background that might be a part of a motive of a case? You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, it's super thought-provoking and it's interesting. And I think it's also, like, I've realized stuff with this case is like, there's always a shock factor to any update in the case. $100 million each, boom, that's what people will talk about. It's a money grab. It's this, it's that. Like, I'm so glad that somebody in the Hive brought up, well, what if Bryan gets exonerated? I didn't know how that would work, but to then read that and how civil lawsuits don't care about and they operate outside of the criminal timeline or who did it, it's rather, did WSU have their hand in something that could still have put students at risk? at the hands of their own campus police. I got you. So Big Red Faye says, if you know law, you know this suit is an absolute chess move against the prosecution. You can't sue the federal government. Detective Mowry, I'm confused. You're confusing me, dude. Let me open up this window quick. I'm starting to sweat. All right. Much better. Much, much better. I was just saying, Detective Bauer, I'm saying you're confusing me. I don't know if you're up to speed, if you saw us read this article or not. Because my head's going in two places for how to answer yours. That's all. All right, moving on. That was interesting. That was very interesting. Now, this is crazy because I had no idea that we were even going to kind of go down this route of going back and talking about, like, is this some giant social experiment? I mean, we hear Sergeant Blaker say that in the body cam footage the night that Ashley Jennings arrives at the crime scene at 5 p.m. on November 13th. We see Bryan Kohberger's papers. We know about the funding. We know about all the redactions and things like that. Sally Ann Collins, 4518, I had screenshotted this comment from YouTube, which was, Birdie, I believe I've got a theory that nobody has come out with as to why BK took a plea deal. What if he knows people personally who work for and with the Innocence Project from all of his studies and even papers looking into why people plea, and so he has taken the deal to give himself time to get in touch with these people, knowing there's blood evidence, knowing how they work, and knowing he can get exonerated. So when I read this comment, I thought to myself, holy hell, on a way deeper level, like from a PR standpoint, like the Innocence Project, like what if they were like, take the plea deal, BK, we'll get you out. We can exonerate you. Like, is it a good business move? I don't know. I don't believe this necessarily. I'm just saying I do love how my brain works. I felt like there were some people in here that would probably also think like that would make a lot of sense. That would be crazy. There's a lot of people that probably can't wrap their head around that. They're like, yeah, okay, well, I don't know. That would be insane. Nothing about this case makes sense. I think anything's on the table. I think conspiracy theorists like myself and like you all, if you wear your tinfoil hat proudly, we've got a green light in this case now to say anything that we want almost. We don't know anything. Literally, we do not know anything that actually happened. And as far as the crime occurring, okay, we know a lot that happened, but do we really believe the order? What's the credibility of these people that are writing this? Yeah, some people said it's a pretty simple theory. I agree, but hey, there's also people that don't understand how witness protection works, and they think that there would be a grand reveal, and that yeah, they're in witness protection. Mrs. Pottage says, I'm shocked you didn't know the Innocence Project is already involved. I do know that. Yes, I've heard, and I actually showed an article about a DNA guy that said that for the Idaho Innocence Project. Yes. James Moen, well, Dylan and Bethany should be sued for not calling 911. Maybe lives could have been saved. And then you think back to Steve G's text messages, if those are legitimate, where he said that Dylan's grand jury interview and testimony created more questions, and said there was a text message, quote, I think somebody killed them, and she still didn't do anything. That's an interesting take. I mean, now, I just saw a comment go by that somebody said, hang on, shoot. Big Red Face says, I missed what Phoenix said, but I get the gist of it. Exactly, Phoenix. I think that the move is for the truth to be shown. I mean, in a civil lawsuit, I'd be curious, like, do they still have to prove out the crime that happened and occurred it? Like, what What if this civil suit, because it doesn't matter about the criminal timeline or who did it necessarily, what if we see this civil suit and it's like, holy shit, wait. This has nothing to do with Bryan Kohberger. Like, what if it's like almost like an Uno reverse card of like, you know how sometimes criminally people will be found innocent, but then civilly they'll be found guilty? What if it's the opposite? What if criminally they're found guilty, but then civilly it actually shows they're innocent? Has that ever happened before? Or has it always only ever been like in OJ's case where he criminally was innocent, but then civilly sued? Does that make sense? And if there are any examples, I'm curious if anybody knows of that. Yeah, the civil suit, it's a way to get more information. I agree. I think that whoever said it earlier, like it's a chess move. I do believe that. Wait, Morgan said that makes no sense, dude. What part? If somebody's criminally guilty but civilly innocent? I was just asking if that happened. I don't know if it's ever happened. I guess we can see. Has anyone ever been found criminally guilty but then civilly innocent? Like the opposite of what happened with OJ, where he was. And thank you so much. Bernie Pham says, I've heard that people sue because in those cases, everything is brought to the table, everything that's being hidden. I think that absolutely. And thank you for the super chat. I think it's for sure a strategic chess move where he was criminally innocent, but then found civilly guilty. Let's see what this says. Yeah, discovery might in the civil suit reveal more. Okay. Interesting. This flips the usual logic on its head. It's a fascinating little legal paradox. The short answer, yes, but it's extremely rare. It only happens in very specific situations. Criminally guilty means you're civilly not liable. The criminal court says you did it beyond a reasonable doubt. The civil court says you're not responsible for damages, not even by the preponderance of evidence. So that feels backwards because civil law has a lower burden of proof. You'd think if the high burden is met, the low one should be automatic. But that's not the case. These are the main situations where it happens. Government immunity shields the civil claim. Somebody can be convicted criminally, say an officer with excessive force conviction, but when the families sue the civil court, the government entity is immune or partially immune. The conviction stands, but the lawsuit gets tossed. This creates a scenario where the person is, quote, criminally guilty, but civilly untouchable. The statute of limitations could block the civil suit, where criminal charges may be brought years later, but civil deadlines are often short. You only have about a year to 3 years to do so. This is mainly saying that rather than saying civilly innocent, it's criminally guilty and civilly you have no liability. Civil plaintiffs sue the wrong party. If a man is convicted of arson, the building owners sue the landlord instead of the arsonist. The court says the landlord didn't do anything wrong. The civil case fails, even though the criminal guilt of the arsonist is rock solid. So civilly innocent doesn't mean the criminal offender is declared innocent. It means the civil defendant didn't breach a duty. So criminal court, this sums it up. This is pretty good. Criminal court says you committed a wrong against society. Civil court says somebody else failed in a duty related to your actions. The truths don't have to match. The dissonance, it's a truth in thought, but out of sync. It's exactly where conspiracy thinking, narrative tension, and real world injustice tends to bloom. Wild. That's very interesting. It's interesting that it's not the University of Idaho, though, as well. Thank you so much, Emma Thomas. And everybody, if you're tuned in over on X right now, join us over on YouTube. I usually just stream the first hour on X. I'm putting my YouTube username up on the screen now. Thank you for tuning in on X. We will see you over here in the YouTube Hive. Appreciate that. Please hit that like button. And we are at the first hour. So if everybody could please, again, if you're new into the Hive here, if you guys could hit that like button, I would appreciate it. We got, over 800 people in here and we only got 400 likes. Let's get to 100% likes. It costs you nothing. It's free. Same thing with hitting that subscribe button. It helps out the channel more than you guys know. And I want the Hive to continue to grow. There's a lot of open-minded, like-minded people like yourselves and like me that we want a place to be able to come and chat, and it's always going to be free. I'm never going to put anything behind a paywall. And I think that, tapping the like button and hitting subscribe is a very simple 2-second thing. There's a lot of effort that goes into this stream, not just with myself, but with my mods, with, the people that are helping me out with the website, trying to give you all the best viewing experience. So I appreciate that very, very much so. If you guys do feel kind enough to tip or leave a super chat, anything over $4.99 will pop up right here, and I address it immediately. And yes, Discord Dawn, thank you so much. Welcome to the Hive if you're new. Can you guys type a 1 if this is your first live now that we're into it? And when I asked that the first time, there's only a couple hundred people in here. We just had been getting started, but I'm curious. Melissa French says, I'm late. What did I miss? Well, we were just talking about the lawsuit that the families are asking for $100 million for each victim against WSU. Okay, so we got Morgan's new. Moto Man, this ain't your first live. Heather. Kara's second live. James. Well, welcome if this is your first time being live here. It's great. Critic Rick, you're not new. All right. Now I want to get on to some stuff here that that I've not shown on stream yet. All right. And I'm going to, I hate to do this. I got to pee. And then I don't want to leave again. So I've been drinking a lot of caffeine this morning and I've been hydrating as I did not feel the best last night. So give me 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
Kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Thank you all. I appreciate that. And thank you for hitting that like button if you all did while I was gone. Appreciate that big time. There's still 300 people that haven't, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. It's fine. It is what it is. Moving on. I'm very excited to show this just because I'm curious if anybody picks up on this. Now, this is the bottom of the stairwell downstairs, I believe. What do you guys notice about this photo? I'll throw some up on the screen. Anybody notice anything? It's not as zoomed in as it might need to be, but what do you guys notice? Parts are blurred out. I don't see that. Are there? Laura got it right away. Laura got it right away. This is what I saw too. I see that people are saying vacuum, sticker on the vacuum stickers, whatever. I also saw this. Okay. Right in this area. Now, I zoomed in and I thought to myself, okay, there was a guy who stole his uncle's ATF jacket and he walked in there and he's got no charges from impersonating an ATF agent. And he has a literal ISP report that says the victims look like they were double tapped. And it looked like somebody went deer hunting inside that house. So I started thinking, you hear somebody run down the stairs, you hear a thud. Who knows if the audio is messed with or not? But like that's what they've said. We've got survivors saying this. The official timeline says it. It is what it is, whether you want to say that it's legit or not. It's something that you got to run with to an extent, right? I would say, is that shotgun pellets? And I don't think that it's nail holes. Tell me why you'd have all of these nails. Like there's nails along the side right here, and that's for hanging stuff. Okay, I don't think that's unusual. But all of these, I'm just like, that's a lot. There's a lot. It's random. And you can see, like, this is solid wood. Okay, so if you've ever taken nails out of wood, I don't typically think that they all look blown out like this, right? Like you nail it in, wood's a very solid surface. It's not like drywall per se. But, and people are saying darts. Well, I don't know who's throwing darts at the bottom of their stairs. I hear stuff on Linda Lane that might sound like a gunshot. We know that there's gun rack guy. We know that Christy and Steve and Olivia said that their niece called them and said someone went and shot the party up. Right? But I'm not saying that the shotgun, if these are pellets, I'm not saying, let me make myself bigger here. I'm not saying that these went in this direction. I'm saying it went through the stairs and these are the exit holes. Okay? These are all very symmetrical. And you don't see them underneath the other stairs at all. So I went and tried to find it. I'm like, dude, is this like common under all the other steps? It's not. Okay, I know that maybe this wood is a little bit different. But it's something that, and people are saying carpet staples. Christ, no, there's not even carpet on these stairs. These are the stairs going upstairs when you walk in the front door at the bottom. You could see all the leaves here. These steps were not carpeted. They were flooring. And you don't see any, I mean, guys, stairs, their wood is extremely thick. Okay. And if they're not exit or entry, I see some people saying that's up for debate. I get it because I get it. But let me just show you guys the rest of this. I don't know what we're looking at. It's something that caught my eye. Okay. and I could think out loud. And so can you guys, and I'm thinking out loud right now. Not in here. Now, this was holes in the wall that we saw, and these are under the steps. Now, it's just interesting to me, like, I could see if somebody hung something here, but they're also very like, shit, there's a giant spider on my desk. Christ. I don't know. They look like similar size. And let me try to find a photo here. I don't know what I should just type in shotgun pellets in thick wood. Okay. So, I mean, this is shotgun pellets in wood right there. It kind of looks pretty close, doesn't it? I mean, this is from somebody shooting wood with a shotgun. The nails in the drywall, yeah, I get that. But I'm trying to say, like, you know, I'm just saying, like, similar size, kind of, maybe. I get that. But, I mean, this is pretty telling. It could be. There's an argument to be made. And I go back to the double tapped, reports. I mean, it would fit in. It would fit in on here. Yeah, you could see maybe some black around the holes too, I just saw. What about up here? If I was to do this quick. I don't know. I could see an argument to be made. Everything's not that quiet on the audios, though. You can hear a gun rack and you can hear what sounds like gunshots. I'll show you guys this video. Because I have a clip that I pieced together for this. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. He made no mention of anyone being stabbed. All of the victims were double tapped in the house. You guys tell me if this sounds like 2 gunshots in rapid succession. And now let's not forget about what we hear in this enhanced 911 call. And then to hear it from the family themselves.
Somebody went in and shot the party up and Kaylee was shot last night. And Kaylee, somebody went in and shot the party up and Kaylee was shot. I was like, what? And I just threw my phone. I threw my phone. I started screaming. I started telling everybody to call Olivia and to get all of her roommates on the phone. And I started calling Maddie.
He made. So all I'm saying is that I think there's definitely enough there to start to question, like, you know, even on Gunderson's body cam, there was a guy when he was canvassing the area. I just saw somebody bring this up. There was a guy who opened his door and he's like, I didn't hear any gunshots or anything. And I had some friends text me if I'm okay because they heard about gunshots. Whoa. That's weird. You got Chapin saying 2 a.m. will always be a dark hour. And I understand audio can be added. Audio can absolutely be manipulated, right? It can absolutely be manipulated. I can tell you, I didn't add anything to that, and I got all of these from the official documents. And if they're going to say that this was a stabbing, they should have removed that stuff. Maybe they should have, you know, done it differently. I don't know. But the neighbors heard nothing. Even in that audio there, I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so somebody just said, who is that tall to shot up in a line? If it was a gun hole, the trajectory would be slanted up, not center. Okay, hear me out. What I'm trying to say is if you're on the ground level about to go, I'll just draw this. Okay. Here's what I'm saying, Critic Rick. Okay. Son of a bitch. Okay. So here's the stairs. Okay. The doorway. We saw all of that I just showed you. Okay. Underneath. These are the stairs. This is the driveway is right here. Okay. So here's the door. If somebody was running down the stairs, you're right. It makes no sense that it would be like that. But if somebody was going up the stairs and the person was standing here, right? And if the guy's 6 feet tall and somebody's running up the stairs and they were to pew, 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 that's the alignment that I would see happening. Does that make sense? I know that's shit art skills, but that's the way that I would see that angle being possible. Now, I do have some other photos. Let me see if I can pull them up. I started going back through. I have a lot of, you know, random shit and notes that when I see them, I screenshot it. So like you guys just saw, like I had Sally's there. What was this note? Retaining wall bricks, all disheveled, black specks on it. Yeah, that was also something that was weird. I'm like, you know, you look outside, you look at these retaining wall bricks, and I've noticed that, you know, some of these bricks have fallen, and I was trying to find pictures in the past, like, and even like here, like this stuff. I don't know. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. I'm looking at everything. There's times when I can't sleep and I literally will just go through and see if my brain picks up on anything. Yeah, and Critic Rick, you're so effing smart, aren't you? That's what we just said. What we don't know what it is. I'm not going to clown horn you for that. We know. I think we have all thought maybe it could be nail holes too. Okay. We're just thinking through, given everything else. Easy there, big fella. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, you got the retaining wall bricks that are messed up. Who knows? Let's see. What else did I screenshot here? Oh, I had this one because I was like thinking to myself, wait, what did I write here? Oh, my thought was if somebody would have jumped from up top, could somebody jump far enough to knock down these brick things? That was after Bourbon Santa's theory. So, I mean, a lot of times, like when I'm going through and I'm editing, you know, the streams down to quick cuts, like if something pops in my head, I literally just find the picture and I'll just type something random. This was, you know, they say that was blood leaking out the other side of the house. I don't know. That looks like similar patterns. Maybe it's not blood. Something, again, that's randomly. This was, you know, again, what I thought could be shotgun pellets or someone deer hunted. This one was crazy. And I'll also like kind of throw filters on it as well. But like, I can't do that full screen. Shoot. I've shown this one in the past as well. Just once. That to me looks like a cigarette butt. That when you apply a filter, it kind of looks like that. I'm just throwing all this out there. It's interesting to look at. Type of one, if you guys are okay with that. I mean, I wanted to show you guys this stuff. That's what these live digs are for. Who knows? Maybe somebody sees it and it sparks something that, you know, ends up working out and they can piece together another aspect of the case. I don't really remember what I all have on these. These are just random photos that I found that I put filters on. I forget what I was looking here. Oh, this filter, I was like, it kind of looks like this was wiped or this was painted. Like just this one side is just different color. Then I don't know. That was one thought. And if there's any NPCs in here that clip this and are like, oh, Birdie's thinking that, like, understand, I'm just thinking out loud. And I don't care what you think. And if you're so smart, what do you think happened? What's this one? This is another filter of that. You can kind of see again, it kind of looks like it's wiped. This was with a filter on. I thought this was interesting because I feel like these footprints became way more visible with this filter on than I've noticed. Like all of this down here. I thought was very strange. Right. And that's what I was thinking too, Paula. Who would make nail holes there? Referring back to the staircase. Could be dog prints. I mean, I could zoom in further. Let's see. All right. Are these paw prints from a dog or a human shoe mark? Well, ChatGPT seems to think they look like animal paw prints more than anything a human shoe would make. Interesting. Yeah, let's just say, what kind of paw prints? Let's see if it says dog. That'd be interesting. Oh, it looks like cat paw prints, not dog. Well, all right. Then who knows what they are. Does anybody have a cat? Yeah, look at all that. It's the mountain lion. I don't remember why I took a picture of this. Oh, here are the steps. So here are the front of those steps. And I was looking at it on this filter to see if I could see any like holes or stuff. But as you can see, it's not carpeted. You can see kind of dripping right here. This filter might not have been the best. I mean, I can change it too. Oh, I think I actually also have it negative. I thought it was a little bit interesting too, because does this cup look different? I know it's got a filter on it, but it's like, I feel like, I don't know. It could just be, not that the cup looking different matters. It's just like the design looks so different. And right here, kind of see some stuff. Yeah, someone stepped on the cup. Think about that. It's a Jack in the Box cup with a McDonald's logo. Yeah, well, does the TV disappear or did it just get pushed back? I'll play around with a couple other filters. I mean, right here. Like that looks like a splatter. What now? What is it splattered? I don't know, but it and then, would that line up with the area of where we saw those holes underneath. I don't know, because you can't really see the holes in this wood. Maybe like these. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think those are holes. So, I mean, what step would this be on? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. I don't know. I don't know. This one I didn't really get a chance to look at too much. But again, I always think it's interesting to look at stuff with a filter on it. Like, what can you see? Something went and grabbed from back here, or this is moved. Interesting to always keep an eye out for some stuff. What do I got here? Oh, yeah, this is for that wall. Oh, this one I was saying, like, underneath the negative filter. Again, this just, I don't know. It's just so weird to see what they're saying. Like the Amido black. It's just so much. It looks like it was like diluted down. I mean, it's everywhere. Beth, thank you for the super chat. Something horrible happened on the stairs. I agree. I agree. And I'll just kind of click through some of these other photos that I got here. See if you guys see anything. I thought it was interesting that, like, in this photo, you know, again, some, depending on what filter you use, some stuff just becomes way more visible. I was trying to figure out. So, like, okay, I was like, this is popcorn. Oh, let me make this bigger. Right? Is this popcorn right here? It kind of looks like it. And then I was trying to figure out, like, it kind of looks like a popcorn bag. I don't know. At this point, guys, I'm looking at anything and everything that catches my eye. So, all right. Let's talk with the chat. What are we thinking now? Who's got some sort of bombshell theory that we haven't heard yet? Somebody's saying kitchen. Love always redacted. Kitchen was the cleanup area. Yeah, it's a mini printer for photos. I don't know, guys. It's just so crazy because it's like we could go and we could look at anything and everything. We could go back. We could relook at stuff, but you know what we could actually do here real quick? I don't know. Like, thank you, Lezanne Rebel 6 for the super sticker. You rock. Appreciate that. I mean, it's been a long time since I pulled up, you know, the OG TikTok document. This is what the slides used to look like when I would go live on TikTok. We got so much stuff in here, so many interviews. The handprint matching the Crassy Elantra one. Like, I go back and I look at all this stuff that we were trying to figure out, and it just seems like we still don't have answers to a lot of these. This was crazy when Sammy T got this photo off of dude at the Grub Truck's phone. It's obviously not the frame that she had gotten for the picture, but she was able to get this, and we told ChatGPT to recreate it, and that's what it popped up as. That's wild. I mean, just so many hours. Some of the tunnel mapping that we overlaid. I mean, we did so much. The Russian hacker, this fucking weird TikTok that just seems very odd to make. It's just, I don't know how to explain this. We got the 911 call audio that we did. Only available at not available. This was one of the most insane videos. I still don't know how this is possible.
Look at this car suddenly disappears in front of our eyes on the dumpster can at 6:47 a.m. The camera is frozen for 13 seconds, and after that you never see the car again. But this guy got the missing part. Here we go. Slow down and still shot. And this car looks like this car. Compare the stripes at the side and also the roof lights. That's the car of Moscow, and that's the car of Lada County. By comparing the backside of the car of the Linda Lane footage, the Latter County car got a harsh angle to the downside, just like the car in the footage, while the car of Moscow got a more smoother angle. Maybe we should not see this car passing by the Linda Lane dumpster cam, and 13 seconds are enough to pass this area. Because if this car is heading to 1122 King Road home 5 hours prior to the 911 call, we have a problem. Only two possibilities. The car is driving to the King Road or passing by the way up to Valenta Drive. And there is the dumpster can.
So it's
Look
like
at this.
these are just all things that people have sent me over the course of like. I mean, this is a crazy story by Devil's Advocates. This is interesting for everybody just to know.
Related to Bryan Kohberger's case, why in hell is anything related to Bryan Kohberger's case a matter of national security? Our government had an FBI, an asset from the FBI who was working for the mob as a hitman, and they allowed him to continue to do murders and even helped frame a guy who didn't commit a murder so that the guy that they had on the inside of the mob could stay inside and they can keep building their case against the mob. Put this towards the Kohberger case. If there's any truth to the rumors that this had to do with drugs, then some confidential informant may be working with law enforcement agencies to bring down some kind of big, industry. And if they do, they have shown in the past they will lie, help fabricate information to keep their confidential informant from being exposed, because that's going to be important. So now the question is, when you start getting into issues of national security and you get into all this unprecedented gag order, it suggests that there is somebody involved with this crime, either an assailant or one of the survivors who's an inside government informant, who has been a confidential informant and is being protected. They're willing to let somebody else go down for it in order to keep the bigger target on their radar and not blow the lid on something bigger.
Somebody's watching.
Guys, it's so funny to like go back and look at this, like the green Elantra at the crime scene. I was like, these look like three different dudes. ChatGPT says this is definitely face replacement or manipulation. That's just still so weird. Oh, this is from our boy Alpha Kenny. I understand this is a Bob's Burgers tattoo, but you guys know what I remember exactly why I had this on here. It's a stretch, but I'm also like, you guys know what an ambigram is? Like where there's a word hidden inside, of characters. And I remember tracing this out. I'm like, this to me, if I was to, again, I know people are going to be like, well, Bernie thinks this. I'm going over what we were talking about. Yeah, we're crazy. We're nuts. But in my head, I was like, damn, if you trace this, it says karma. And then I understand it's Bob's Burgers, but I'm like, do these represent something? I don't know. We were trying to figure out, like, did each of these represent like some sort of victim or anything? No idea. That's the tinfoil hat shit. Still, have we ever ID'd this person? Do we know who this is? Joe, maybe? I don't know. Try to figure out who that guy was. What was this for?
No, I'm not.
Just getting scared. Not to be that guy, but I shouldn't park anywhere here. It's only the park at the bottom part of the lot.
I remember too, this is like a shape-shifting transformer car. Okay. I'll try to show you guys this. I've done this before, but it's been a while. But if you look at this car, like everyone's like, oh, it's like a Mustang. It's got a loud thing. And then watch when it goes behind this pole. I don't know. It turns into what kind of looks like a Pathfinder, doesn't it? Can you guys kind of see an entire ass of an SUV here? It's like, again, it just kind of goes to like, is this manipulated? Because I can tell you that like this with the mud flap right here at the bottom, all the way up to the front. I mean, that looks more like a SUV than a car. You can see through the windows here. Taillights up high. It's got the roof racks. I mean, that's totally a different car, right? That looks like a Nissan Armada. You can swear it off. And then it'll change again. You can see the wheel well sits up here. You can still see the back of it. You can see four. I don't know. I don't know. Like that's totally an SUV. That's not a Mustang. You know, I wonder if I could do this entire video in negative. Can I? Oh, no, it doesn't let me. Can I put a filter on this whole video? I think I can. I don't think I've ever done that. Ooh, that one's pretty good. I've never watched this video with a filter on it, I don't think.
I'm not.
Just getting scared. Not to be that guy, but probably shouldn't park anywhere here. They told her to park at the bottom part of the lot.
And they changed their own color on it. I feel like this then starts to kind of look almost like a truck with a giant light bar on the bottom. Doesn't that look like it's got a bright light bar? Like kind of something like this. Right here. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And like here, I see a big ass diesel truck. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've seen like 3 different vehicles. It's the transforming car. I feel like I could totally see now. Long bed. Here's the mirror. Back tires. Light bar. So I don't even know how you would do that. Change the color red. Can't do that. For some reason. I could try these. Ooh, that's a little better. It totally just, it looks like a big truck. It sounds like a big truck. I mean, look at the distance from the tail light to the front. Yeah, so what the hell is happening in this clip? If nothing else, why are they, I don't know, it looks like a truck. Try a couple more filters here. That's why I love these Saturday live digs like this, because it's good to go back. I mean, oh yeah, that's a good one right there.
Scared. Not to be that guy.
Sounds like a lot more doors closing than people get out too.
We shouldn't park anywhere here. It's only the park at the bottom part of the lot.
It's interesting because it seems like it always changes after it crosses one of these poles. Like they did like a cut line where like it would almost be like if they duplicated it and they wanted to match it up, they did this for like different time, you know, and if you were to size it the same way, maybe. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because like also it looks like these cars are the exact same. Or like did they do this? Like did they take this and did they mirror it? I wonder if we mirrored it, if we could see it better. What if we flipped it like this? Would that help anything?
Scared. Not to be that guy.
Who are these people?
Guys.
I don't know.
We shouldn't park anywhere here. They told her to park at the bottom part of the lot.
I mean, I don't know. It's all so weird, guys. It's all so effing effed up. It's weird. Yeah, that was crazy. Kopaka's eye picture, we still haven't figured out. I wonder if we could figure this out yet. Oh, shit. I have no idea. I have no clue. There's so much stuff. Trying to figure out if that was Bryan Kohberger. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Somebody saw the Range Rover. You know, did we ever talk about how they say that Kaylee's Range Rover was a rental, yet it had dealer plates on it? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have a rental, doesn't that car still have to be registered? And doesn't that business then own that car that they are renting out to you? So therefore, it should have a license plate. It should be a registered car. I don't think that if, you know, the dealer gives you a loaner, wouldn't that have to have registered plates? And it wouldn't just be the dealer new car plates. So I don't know. To me, this looks like the exact same car too that was there, not just the rental. just a blast from the past going down through all these and the shit that we were trying to do. Oh, man. Well, Hive, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning into the Hive Mind. Please hit that subscribe, hit that like button. I will be back in the Hive with you all tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Central. I hope you all have an awesome day. birdieshivemind@gmail.com. If you got something for a Hive Mind find, or if you're already in the Discord, please post it in there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Stay safe. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.